My name is Tim, and welcome to Every Medium. Today, we're going to be going over how to install a steering wheel in an EP3. Now, I have no idea why, but there are so many misinformed YouTube tutorials on how to put a wheel on one of these cars. For example, in this one, the horn ring is not a spacer. This is dangerous, but I digress. I'm going to be throwing on a Works Bell Boss Hub kit along with a Nardi Personnel Neo Grinta steering wheel. So Works Bell is one of the premier Japanese companies for aftermarket interior parts. Their hubs and steering parts are all designed to comply with Japanese vehicle inspection and safety standards, which is a safety guarantee that you won't find with most other hub or interior part manufacturers. While they may cost a pretty penny, the quality and safety peace of mind is honestly well worth it. As for the wheel, we're running a Nardi Personnel Neo Grinta in the 330mm size. Nardi Personnel is an Italian company that's been producing high-quality motorsports wheels since, I think, the mid-1940s. They've partnered with Ferrari, Lancia, Audi, Beamer, a whole host of companies over the years, firmly reinforcing their dedication to quality components. I could have run something cheaper, like an NRG hub and wheel, but every NRG component comes with a warning. NRG products are designed for off-road use only. This, coupled with their lack of safety-related guarantees, certifications, or honestly any documentation, kind of made me steer well clear of any of their products. So then, what does our hub come with? We've got the hub itself, screws, documentation, a horn adapter harness, more documentation with torx specs and whatnot, and our airbag light canceling resistors. Now, if we pop open the hub, you can see we've got beautiful casting. This metalwork honestly looks great. And it has a great finish, and it even has this rear plate on the back that works with the EP3's factory SRS or clock spring that's attached to the steering column. As for screws, the kit comes with both tapered and non-tapered screws, whichever fits your steering wheel better. In my case, we'll be using the tapered screws. Our documentation includes installation instructions, including how to attach the airbag resistors, various, warnings and regulatory information, and most important, the proper torque specs for our hub to be tightened to. The horn adapter harness actually isn't correct for the US EP3 Si, but I assume that's an unfortunate side effect of this hub kit being somewhat universal for a number of Hondas. And finally, we have our two airbag resistors. These are what you'll need to attach to your steering wheel's wiring if you don't want the SRS module to have a fault due to the airbag being removed. With my car being a track car and soon to have an aftermarket ECU, I'm actually not going to install these resistors in this video. And the wheel itself. It's pretty basic. I mean, it's a leather wheel with a horn, a fun personnel sticker, and it comes in this nice little Nardi Personnel plastic bag. Let's go put it all in the car. So this here is the Honda Civic EP3 that I'll be installing the wheel on today. It may not be perfect, but it's also not too bad for almost 300,000 miles. On the EP3, there's a few bolts and stuff that we're going to have to deal with for taking off the wheel. Down here on the lower right side, we're going to have our cruise control module. We're going to have two Phillips head screws that hold that in. You can just take them out with a regular screwdriver. After that, on the left and right, we're going to have these black plastic covers that we have to pop off of the flathead. Behind that will sit these torx bolts that you'll have to use a torx bit to get out. On the left-hand side, you'll also have the airbag wiring. That's where you disconnect the airbag's actual wiring harness. You got to be very careful in doing that and ensure your battery's been disconnected for a while to remove any residual power. Finally, once you get all those off, you're just going to want to pop the airbag out and then remove the 19mm nut in the middle. Once you've done that, we're ready to dive into the reinstallation process with our shiny new aftermarket wheel and hub. Now, the two screws here on the steering wheel are going to be a Phillips size screw, and if you want to make them easier to access, you can simply turn the wheel. It may be handy to keep your keys on you so that you can unlock the steering column and rotate it freely. And once you've removed those screws, your cruise control module can simply unplug. Now, something to watch out for is that you don't pull on your cruise control module too hard once you've gotten those screws undone, as there is this connector here which you'll need to unplug. A small flathead screwdriver on the top of that connector and it should pull right out, no problem. As you can see here, this wheel is a bit crusty after almost 300,000 miles. Oof. That is a nasty looking module. Now we're going to continue on with popping some of the plastic covers off of the wheel and getting access to the two torx bolts holding the rest of the assembly on. If this is our cruise control module here, the two covers we're going to be interacting with is this one right here and one that is on the other side of the H here. Now, Please ignore, this cover is not something that needs to be removed. My car is just falling apart. Some previous owner did quite the hack job on the airbag system, so there is unknown issues with my car, so please feel free to ignore. We're just going to be popping off these two covers here using a small flathead screwdriver and getting at those two Torx bolts. So that's one cover off now. Here on the driver's side, we're going to be dealing with much of the same. However, there is one added precaution. The cover on this side of the steering wheel does house the connector for the airbag, so you're going to want to make sure that your car's battery is fully unplugged, all power is drained from the system, and to take proper precaution anytime you're messing with your vehicle's airbag. With that being said, let's pop off this cover. As you can see, this cover is also quite a bit larger than the one on the right side of the wheel, so it is pretty easy to keep these separate. This is the one that covers the large connector. Coming in here now with a flashlight, you should be able to see the connector I'm talking about. This giant yellow connector is the airbag's power connector. As such, you always want to be very delicate when working with airbag electronics, as there always is a risk of explosion or other hazard. I would not recommend sitting in the driver's seat while messing with this connector. I'm going to do so from outside of the vehicle. It may be hard to film, so I don't know how much of this I'm going to catch on video, but our next step is going to be undoing that connector and then working to remove the airbag from the steering wheel. We're going to undo that connector and then start working these Torx bolts up here. Okay, and our connector is disconnected. Let's move on to the Torx bolts. I want to say it looks like a T30 maybe? Yes, it appears to be a Torx T30 for these two bolts on either side of the steering wheel. So I'm going to use this socket here to remove these. Well, a cordless impact is not the weapon of choice I would recommend to remove your airbag, but it does work in a jiffy. Now, when removing this airbag, you will have to be careful, as you do have both the horn and airbag harnesses connected. You will have to tuck them through the back side of the wheel here, just the yellow connector, and then you'll have to unplug this blue connector at the bottom of the airbag module as well. That's going to be your horn. You simply pull on the tab on the other side of this connector here, and it should pull right off. At that point, you've now removed your hazardous bomb of an airbag. I would set this somewhere safe, and then, maybe take care of it. If you ever plan on reselling your car, or if you ever, maybe want to just put the factory steering wheel back on for any purpose, you're definitely going to want this airbag. Getting an aftermarket airbag or getting a used airbag is extremely expensive. These things are potentially hundreds of dollars, depending on, the chassis and everything else. But yeah, so from here, we're going to move on to the final bolt, which is a 19mm right in the center of the steering wheel, and we should be good to pull our steering wheel right off. One other important note to keep in mind while doing this is that you're going to want to be able to line up your new steering wheel as close as possible to the OEM steering wheel. If you don't, your alignment will be off, you'll have to get your car realigned. What I would recommend is straightening your steering wheel as perfectly as possible, taking a small Sharpie or paint pen and drawing a vertical line through the bolt that's in the center of the steering wheel. This will help it so that even if you bump your steering wheel on removal, even if it gets turned a little bit, you'll always have that vertical reference to know exactly where your steering position was before you removed your steering wheel. Okay, we are back with a pen. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a line vertically on this hub. Just make sure I know where my center is. The other piece of the puzzle there is that the teeth will help you also line it up. I mean, obviously there are, I don't know exactly how many teeth, like probably 70, something like that, different positions that you could be off. But as long as you have a line, you should be able to get it within 1 to 2 teeth. So good confidence there. From here, we're just going to take our ratchet and remove that 19mm bolt right in the center of the steering wheel. Now, I have seen people say that sometimes this bolt can be very hard to remove. If that is the case, I'd highly recommend ensuring that your steering is locked, you don't have your keys in the ignition, as well as maybe you could try an impact. I don't know how much I would recommend that, because I think that your steering threads and whatnot are relatively delicate, but there are many things to try. Maybe a bigger ratchet, breaker bar, things of that nature. From there, we are going to want to be careful with our harnesses here, but we should be good to just pull up from the bottom of the steering wheel and it should come right off. Maybe. When looking into how to do this, I actually saw everyone else struggle at the same step and then go, oh, you just had to pull from the bottom? Oh, that was weird. I must have hit it the right way. Anyways, we're good now. Let me just disconnect these last few connectors I have still connected. Should be good to go. Okay, and with that, we've got our stock steering wheel fully off the car. You can see we've got our SRS clock spring here. You can also see it's been duct taped, so that is why my fucking airbag light is on, because the previous owner has fucked with this. This explains a lot. I would also highly recommend using this as an opportunity to clean your clock spring as well as, in general, your whole steering column here. This can just be a great opportunity to get some of that deeply baked in grime and grossness out of there. So if you want to just take a few minutes, wipe down everything, remove some of that crust, this is a great time to do so. One unfortunate fact about this hub is that the Worksbell 223 hub was made to work with a number of different Honda vehicles. As such, the horn connector that it comes with here is not actually compatible with the stock EP3 Si horn. You can see here, this is actually the stock horn connector. We've just got one wire coming in, but this connector is definitely not this connector. Now, I've seen videos of people who fully remove their clock spring, do a full delete here. There's two wiring harnesses that come in the back here, and I believe one of the orange wires is actually the horn, but that isn't necessary with the Worksbell 223 hub. As you can see here, our Worksbell hub is actually fully compatible with our stock clock spring. We don't need to remove it at all, and it'll fit nicely in here with the wires tucking behind this metal shield. As such, our main goal is to transform that stock horn wiring harness with its single pin into this spade connector that we can use to attach to our aftermarket horn. So my plan is to either chop this connector off right here and chop the connector off of this harness as well and connect the two. That way we just have a spade connector coming out. Or you could also pin into this harness itself and extend a wire out of there and then maybe electrical wrap that. That way that it's reversible if you plan on reusing your wiring harness. For me, unfortunately, as you saw with the duct tape wrap on here and whatnot, it appears the previous owner is unfortunately the cause of my airbag woes. So I have no real need to keep the stock wiring, so I may end up cutting this, we'll see. But now I'm going to go run over to the hardware store, grab an adapter, maybe some crimp butt connectors, and get this taken care of really quick. Well, here goes nothing. So our horn connector removed. Just have to strip back this wiring now. Okay, got that casing removed. Just enough to go into our butt connector. Now, with automotive connectors, there are obviously numerous ways to connect wires, whether it's soldering, crimp-based connectors, twisting, any number of ways. For this application, I'm going to be using a basic butt connector. This is a crimp style connector where you insert a wire, crimp it down, insert another wire, crimp it down, and it makes contact. Now, there may be concerns around these kind of connectors in terms of vibration and wires pulling out. Because this is not a safety critical item, this is literally just the horn connector, I'm not super worried about that. So I'll be using one here today to connect my horn. And I'm just going to use these pliers to crimp the other end of it. Okay, both wires are now securely inside our connector. And we can just feed this connector in through our hub and connect it up to our horn. An important thing to note is that if your hub is interfacing with your plastic shields that cover your steering wheel, they recommend taking a razor blade and cutting off layers of this ring. Do not add spacers to change the distance of this hub from the steering column. Cut the plastic. That is the safest way to do it. As such, it appears for our installation, we're going to need to slice off a ring or two. We're fitting a little snug here distance-wise, so I'm going to slice off a ring of this cover and try to fit it again. That's some thick material to ask me to cut through the box cutter, I'm not going to lie. There we go, I've got it started now. Once you get the blade started, it's as simple as pulling it through. I'd highly recommend being careful here though, because I am having to use quite a bit of force to get this box cutter through. Okay, and there we go. We've got one ring taken off of our hub. Now I'm just going to spend some time cleaning this up a little bit just to make sure it looks nice. Okay, now that you've cleaned up your ring, let's pop this back on. Okay, and you can see now when we fully press this hub on, we're no longer hitting this plastic here, so we should be good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put that nut back on and torque her down to spec. If you check the manual, it actually does come with the proper torque specs, so that's important to check. Something else to be aware of when installing your hub that's often overlooked, and I've even seen dangerous advice regarding this in other YouTube videos. This is a horn adapter ring. This is something used to ensure that your aftermarket horn fits properly within the hub, regardless of the steering wheel. Now, I've seen people describe this as a spacer. I've even seen one YouTube video where someone installed this behind the hub in front of the cancellation ring, which is the white plastic ring that allows you to turn off your turn signals as you spin the wheel. That is not what this ring is for. Installing this behind the hub and applying torque between this and a plastic ring is a very, very, very good way to cause an issue with your steering. It could crack that cancellation ring and then, you know, change the distance of your hub. Your hub could immediately loosen up. Many, many, many bad things. Now, according to our documentation here, it looks like the torque spec on this is in particular 22 foot-pounds or 30 Newton meters. So that's what we're going to use for the center bolt here. So we'll torque that down now. Now, I would say for a torque rating of 22 foot-pounds, this is a extremely overkill ratchet, extremely overkill torque wrench, but it's all I've got, so bear with me. Okay, and with that, we are torqued. Now, all we've got to do is install our steering wheel. Now, to do this, the kit should come with your steering wheel bolts here. If not, sometimes the steering wheel will come with them, or you could just buy some online. These are countersunk, tapered head, little hex key, Allen key screws. So we're gonna go ahead and take our Nardi tag off the wheel and slowly put this on. You wanna make sure and align your wheel with the up arrow on your hub, just to make sure everything goes on well. I'm gonna start with just threading these in and then tighten them down after. Get the wheel nice and aligned. And on to the final step, installing our horn button. This is as simple as sliding this this spade style connector right on the back of your horn and popping it into place. Now it may depend on your wheel, but I don't actually think we need the horn adapter ring for this horn. So I'm actually gonna pull that off and pop this back in. Yeah, it's kind of how it was when I came from the factory, right? Something like that. Well, there you have it, guys. That is how you install a personal wheel and a Works Bell hub in a Civic EP3 Si. Now, this should work for, I'm assuming, the Type R, maybe the SIR, who knows. But yeah, just a general guide. At this point, your wheel should be torqued down, your bolts all in, your horn's in place, and you're good to go. Now, I'm thinking about maybe getting a wrap fix for this car in the future. That's the Works Bell Quick Connect, or maybe further upgrading my steering. I guess we'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you for watching. This has been Every Medium.